Alright, so the Eagles just got some surprising news before taking on the Commanders in the NFC Championship, as some unexpected injury updates regarding a couple of key offensive players have the potential to change this matchup. Meanwhile, both Jalen Hurts and Quinyon gave positive updates on their respective injuries, while A.J. Brown seems to be getting healthier as well. And after his playoff struggles, why does it seem like A.J. could be poised for a bounce-back performance? Plus, the Commanders had a couple key guys missing from practice, and their quarterback Jayden Daniels just interestingly copied Jalen Hurts. So we're going to talk about that and all the other latest news starting right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan, and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And it's time to get excited, because the NFC Championship is just days away, and with that comes the opportunity for the Eagles to do something special by advancing to the Super Bowl.
I want to do special shit, and you can't do special shit alone.
Now, obviously, the number one goal and most special thing possible is winning it all, but we've also been lucky enough to witness a few players do some special things individually this season, and most recently, the Eagles had multiple guys named as finalists for some of the NFL's top awards. Those guys being Saquon Barkley for MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year award, Zach Bond for the Defensive Player of the Year award, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and last but certainly not least, Vic Fangio for Assistant Coach of the Year. So shout out to all those guys for being named award finalists, and it's definitely all very well deserved. Now, personally, out of all these, I think that Barkley's going to end up winning Offensive Player of the Year, and Fangio will end up winning Assistant Coach of the Year, but you guys can let me know your thoughts on who you think will end up winning awards down in the comments below. And all that said, while it is nice to see players get honored with individual awards and achievements, that's obviously not what they're focused on, as all attention is on the third matchup of the season with the Washington Commanders, and in addition to it being the NFC Championship, this game is kind of unique in the sense that this will now be the third meeting between these two teams this year, so that obviously changes things when preparing for this one, because at this point, these teams already know each other really, really well, meaning that this game will be less about game planning and more about who wants it more.
When you're used to each other, man, it's not too much of a game plan you go do. It's all about who gonna make the least mistakes and who gonna make plays. So it's not even about like, you know, because we know each other. You know what I'm saying? We know everything. We don't have to go through like the player list, like as in like what this player good at, what that player good at, what that player good at. Like we already know what they're good at because we don't play them twice already. So this is gonna be a great matchup, man.
A game where you're playing someone for the third time, of course, you look at the things that you've done against them, what they've done against you, what's successful, you know, all those different things. So that's definitely part of our process anytime we play a team year to year or multiple times in a year.
We both know each other. They can play to your strength, however you want to play it, you know, but it's going to come down to who's going to make the play when it matters the most. You know, most importantly, playing the team 3 times or the first time and in this atmosphere. So in this game, this magnitude, it's going to come down to making plays.
It certainly seems like this game is shaping up to be an all-out war, because like those guys said, they already know pretty much everything there is to know about each other, and it's just going to come down to who can make more plays, who can make less mistakes, and straight up just who wants it more. And with the trip to the Super Bowl on the line, I really don't think you could ask for too much more as a fan, because you know that these teams are going to go at each other. Now, someone who's certainly hoping to make a bit more plays in this one than he has in the Eagles' 2 previous playoff games is A.J. Brown, as so far through 2 games, the All-Pro only has 3 catches for 24 yards, which is pretty insane considering how productive he usually is, but that said, you at least gotta applaud him for not complaining about his lack of touches, as it's pretty clear that he's just a guy who is willing to do whatever it takes to win.
You know, I can't worry about what happened in the past or even these past 2 games. Only can look at the film and learn from it. And it's just kind of how the game's been going, you know. Like I said, after the game, you know, I'm okay. We won. I had some incredible blocks for the spring touchdown. So regardless of if the numbers are not there, you know, I know people care about that. But right now, you know, none of that matter. It's all about getting that win at the end of the day. So it don't matter.
Again, you just got to applaud the selflessness from Brown there. And to all the people that want to act like AJ is selfish or dramatic or something like that, this is just another reason why you're simply dead wrong. But even so, the Eagles definitely still got to find ways to get AJ the ball more, because he's simply too good to continue to be this quiet. Now that said, last game, I think there's no question that the snow definitely affected things in the passing game, and specifically for AJ, and he seems to agree with that assessment.
That damn snow. Yeah. It was tough. a lot of opportunities left out there. I'm not the one to make excuses, but I hold on to that ball 99 times, But it happens. It happens, and when stuff like that happens, your attention to detail has to go up. And in that moment, I slip. So I mean, I'm human. It is what it is. But I still have all the confidence in the world within myself, and my guys, my team, and my quarterback. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that the snow is affecting things when a guy that didn't drop a pass all year drops 2 balls in the same game. So now, moving forward in better conditions, there is good reason to believe that AJ will bounce back, especially with him seemingly getting more and more healthy.
Feeling better. I'm getting better. I'm going to leave it at that.
It's obviously great news that AJ is continuing to feel better health-wise, and that was reflected on the team's first injury report of the week, as Brown was listed as a projected limited participant in Wednesday's walkthrough, which is an improvement over previous weeks. And again, overall, I am expecting a much better performance from AJ in this NFC Championship matchup with Washington, because it's hard for me to imagine him going 3 straight games without making a big impact. But now, getting back to Wednesday's injury report, the Eagles did get some more big updates, starting with, of course, some anticipated ones regarding Jalen Hurts and Quinyon Mitchell following their injuries in the Rams game. But real quick, before we get into those, I do want to ask that if you haven't done so already, then please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any more Eagles coverage in the future. And also, make sure you drop a like as well on this video to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. But now, getting back to it, of course, as expected, both Jalen Hurts and Quinyon Mitchell were present at Wednesday's walkthrough and were listed as limited participants. And in addition to that, both guys spoke to the media where they each offered even more of an update.
How you feeling? Feeling good. Ready to go this Sunday.
Any limitations or anything?
No, I'm good to go.
How confident are you in making a tackle this upcoming game and not getting injured again?
Very comfortable. Yeah.
It pretty much seems all but official at this point that Quinyon will be out there, and then you have Jalen Hurts, who was a lot more vague about his status, but still, he confirmed that the expectation is for him to play.
Yeah, I've just been progressing, taking it a day at a time. Was able to participate today and be involved in stuff, so just taking it a day at a time.
Feel like you're still on track to play Sunday?
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty safe assumption at this point that both Hurts and Mitchell are gonna play, and it goes without saying that that's fantastic news. But now I think the question specifically in regards to Jalen is, well, how much will this injury actually affect how he plays? Now, I would say part of it probably depends on how they're able to manage the injury throughout the weekend, whether it improves at all or not, plus obviously they're going to give him some sort of injection or pill before the game to limit the pain, so that could play a role as well, but still regardless, I would definitely expect Jalen to be limited in his mobility, both when he's trying to escape in the pocket and also when he's trying to run, so if you're Kellen Moore and the Eagles coaching staff, that definitely has to change the way you call plays, as he just can't be as reliant on the QB run game, and you gotta find ways to get the ball out of his hands faster with some quick throws. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how they play it on Sunday, and who knows, maybe the Birds get lucky and Hurts' knee injury doesn't end up affecting him much at all. But now, real quick, I want to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of today's video, MyBookie. The divisional round of the NFL playoffs are officially over, and with the conference championship games coming up this weekend, including the Eagles vs. Commanders epic showdown, MyBookie allows you to get in on all the action, as whether you want to bet on the straight-up outcome of the game, the spread, the point total, or the over-under on player stats, along with a variety of other things, MyBookie really does have something for everybody. Plus, you can take advantage of their risk-free Thursdays, as utilizing this offer, if you place a bet that doesn't hit, then they'll refund you your deposit up to a certain amount. In addition, MyBookie also offers a variety of games on their online casino that you can win big with, plus they offer a variety of other unique opportunities as well. And if you sign up today using my promo code PhillyFan, you'll receive an extra 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000 along with a $10 casino chip. But most importantly, guys, please, please, please gamble responsibly. And if you do have a gambling problem, then please seek help and call 1-800-GAMBLER. And again, thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring today's video. Now, with all the hype surrounding the NFC Championship game, one important thing that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have to do that they've done really all season is to just block out distractions and also to
keep the main thing, where winning is the only thing that truly matters.
This phrase has obviously become iconic for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles at this point, which is why it was so interesting to see Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels steal the line right before his NFC Championship matchup with Philly.
I think just as players and vets that been in his position, stuff like that, you kind of just lean on them to ask questions, and everybody says keep the main thing the main thing.
Look, I can't say I blame him because that's the mentality that you want to have, especially before a big game like this. But I just thought it was interesting to hear Daniels copy Hurts' line before their matchup, and I think it just goes to show you how respected Jalen actually is around the league, despite how many of the national media pundits want to talk about him. But now, moving on to some injury updates from both teams, Washington saw a multitude of key players miss practice on Wednesday, mostly due to rest. However, 2 guys were listed as out strictly due to injury, with those being defensive tackle Daron Payne, who was out with both a knee and finger injury, and also linebacker Wagner, who was out with an ankle injury. And obviously, both those guys are crucial members of the Commanders' defense, so the fact that they're missing practice early in the week is certainly noteworthy. That said, Wagner missed 2 practices last week while dealing with this injury, but still played against Detroit, and Payne was limited at times last week as well, but he also played. So I would imagine them missing Wednesday's session is probably more injury management than anything else, and I wouldn't expect them to miss Sunday's game. But that said, we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of the week goes, starting with today. And then switching over to the Eagles, they actually got some pretty unexpected injury news on Wednesday, as a couple of key offensive starters were listed as out with surprise injuries. And the first one of those guys was tight end Dallas Goedert, as he was given a DNP due to an ankle injury. Now, where this ankle injury came from, I really have no idea because he played pretty much the whole game against the Rams and didn't seem to have an issue. And then you have center Cam Jurgens, who was listed as out with a back injury, and just like Goedert, Cam played the entire game against the Rams and didn't seem to have any issues. So this injury is certainly a surprising one. And obviously, having both these guys miss practice to start the week is a little bit concerning, as both of them are extremely important parts of the Eagles' offense, and if either one couldn't go, that would definitely change this matchup and hurt the Birds. Especially Cam, because if he couldn't go, then maybe Landon Dickerson would have to slide over to center, and that would obviously just change things significantly in regards to the communication at the line of scrimmage and setting protections, plus things like the run game and simply snapping the football would be affected too. And now, as of today, the news just got even worse, as it seems that both Jurgens and Goedert were not at practice, and as I just speculated about, Landon Dickerson was seen taking reps at center, so that's definitely not a great sign for either Jurgens or Goedert's chances to play Sunday, and again, not having either one of them would be a huge blow, especially in the run game, because both those guys are super important when it comes to that aspect of the Eagles offense. Now that said, obviously, there's still time before the game on Sunday, and both guys very well could still end up playing, but again, from what we've seen so far this week, it's definitely not looking great. Plus, in other injury news, the Birds actually did just open the practice window for wide receiver Britain Covey, and he was a limited participant on Wednesday. And I think this is good news because when he's been healthy, Covey has been a really great punt returner for this team, so hopefully he can make his return this week and maybe slide right back into that spot so Cooper DeJean doesn't have to do it anymore. But that said, Covey hasn't played in a while, so who knows what the Eagles want to do there. But I am curious to know what you guys think. Assuming that everybody is healthy, who would you rather have returning punts, Covey or DeJean? And also, how concerned are you about these injuries to Goedert and Jurgens? You can let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, while you're at it, again, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any other coverage just like this coming in the future. And also, again, make sure you leave a like as well. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. Also, again, if you're interested, check out my bookie. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some stuff from earlier in the week, you can check this out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.